The following is a video tutorial for how to create the sixth part in the Intro to Model Making with Fusion 360 activity. This part is a typical VEX C channel. VEX is the robotics equipment that we use in our Principles of Engineering course and also for VEX robotics competitions through Engineering Club. And so this is a part you'll be very familiar with next year when you continue on to take that next course. And so I wanted to take an opportunity to show you how to create that part here in CAD. To create this, we're going to use a series of features with extrude, fillet, chamfer, and rectangular pattern at the heart of it. So to get started, you can see on this multi-view here, there are a lot of different numbers, all corresponding to the spacing for the different holes. I tried to follow the rules in terms of rules for dimensioning and baseline set, but I also gave you some detail views to actually hone in on just the spacing and the size of each one of these holes. I actually gathered all of this information by hand using a dial caliper and recreated the part from scratch in that way. We're actually going to get started by creating a sketch profile with these numbers in mind, and then extrude that profile all the way across, and then with a series of steps between creating a sketch, extruding it across, and then using a rectangular pattern to repeat it all the way down the row of the C channel. Same thing on top. You see there are two different rows of holes there. We'll be able to create a sketch for these two squares and rectangular pattern those all the way down across. And then for the middle row, we'll do a third sketch, extrude that through, and then again, rectangular pattern it down the row to fill it in. So that's just a quick look at how we're going to create this part. The numbers we're hoping to hit for volume are 1.190, and for area, we're looking at 30.48. So here we are in Fusion. This is what that completed part is going to look like. And if I jog us all the way back to the beginning, this was step number 1. Let me go ahead and turn my sketch back on so you can check the visibility on that. This was the original sketch. This is where we get started. So starting here on the origin point, I went up 0.55, across 1 inch, came back down that same height, 0.55, created the thickness here at 0.1. On the interior, went up 0.45, and you can jump to the other side here, do the same thing, 0.1, and then up 0.45, and then just connect the dots here, but that is going to be 0.8 across the middle. Once you've completed that sketch, the next step was to extrude that. For the length on the extrusion, we want to set that to 7.5 inches and bring that all the way across. Once the extrusion has been made, we can go ahead and start to detail in all the different holes that we're going to need. So this next sketch was right on the side of the part. The important dimensions for that sketch, you're going to create a square for the cutout, and that square is going to have equal distances on each side, 0.175, 0.175 on each side. And for your placement, you want to create that square at 0.1625 off the left edge here. So draw it in and then set a dimension to get it into position. And then from the bottom to the bottom here, you can set a dimension at 0.1875. With that square in position, you'll then do an extrusion and cut that all the way through the part. So that is our next step. To show you the extrusion there, I just dragged it all the way through. Didn't really set a particular value to that. Just wanted to make sure it went through the other half of the C channel. So cut that through, and then we have our first rectangular pattern. How does that work? With rectangular pattern, you have some options here. You want to go ahead and select object type as a feature. Objects, select the extrusion that we've created. For axis, I just selected this top line that you can see highlighted in blue right now. And then for distribution, you want to put that to spacing. It's either extent or spacing. We're using spacing on this one. Quantity is 15. The distance is 0.5. That's again referencing your spacing. So 0.5 for spacing. And that was it. You want to get 15 of those going all the way across and say OK. And now on each side, you should have those same cuts all the way down the row of the C channel. The next step will be to create another sketch. Turn the visibility on for that. I went to the top. The dimensions on this sketch will look like this. The holes themselves will be the same. The square holes are again 0.175 and 0.175. And for the positioning from the edge of the part, you want to set that to 0.15, 0.15. And then from the top down to the top of where the square opening is going to be, you're going to set that to 0.1625 on each side. So those are the values you're looking to get dimensioned out. Once you have everything in place, finish sketch. And again, repeat the process from the last time. We'll extrude that all the way through. No particular value. I just drag the arrow down through the part. And then rectangular pattern again. Same thing, features. Select your object as the extrusion. Set the axis. I just selected this backside that's now currently highlighted in blue. Distribution is spacing again. Same numbers as the last time, 15 for quantity, 0.5 for the distance. Now on the last one, the last cutout, this is what the sketch looks like for me. Now I was able to take a line and do a little crisscross action from this corner to here and from this corner to here. And that gave me a really quick way to find the center of where this square opening needs to go. So find the center, then draw in your center rectangle at the dimensions of 0.175 and 0.175. With that then in position, I went and extruded that through. So extrude that through. I had the crisscross on there still, so I selected all 4 parts. That's why it says 4 profiles selected, and just drag that through the part again so it made the cut. And then we're going to go and do our last rectangular pattern. The values on this are basically the same. We're just going to do quantity 14 this time instead of 15. Everything else was the same as before. Same axis as the last one as I showed you. Create all the cuts all the way down the part. And then 2 more features to go. We're going to add fillets. The fillets I did all at once. There are 2 edges that are at 0.5, and those are your outer edges here. So the outer edge on each side is at 0.5, and then your inside edge is going to be at 0.025. So if you want to rotate this way, you're going to fillet this inside edge on both sides of the part at 0.025. You can see those all highlighted in blue right now if I have them selected like this. So the inside and the outside edges will all get a fillet. And then the last feature is to chamfer off the ends. We're going to chamfer these ends off. Add that in. There they are. For the chamfer, you're going to set that to type equal distance, 0.1 for each of them. And you're going to get these 2 edges and then the same 2 edges on the other side of the part. Go ahead and chamfer those away. And that is how you create your very own VEX C channel. The numbers we're looking to match. Check our properties. For the volume, 1.190, and for the area, 30.480. If you have those numbers correct, you can go ahead and save this as your last part, Intro to Model Making, Part 6, VEX C channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.